Good morning. My name's Chris Brown. I'm here this morning with Matthew Greentree, the Managing Director of Ausgold Limited, which has got the Katanning Gold Project in Western Australia. So this is the second morning. This is the biggest Noosa Mining Conference I've been to, and I've been to the previous 13 iterations. This one's the 14th. Very strong conference. Matthew, can you tell us a little bit about your background before we get on to the Katanning Gold Project?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Chris. Look, my background is I'm a geologist. I've worked for about 25 years in the mining industry. I really a focus on exploration, but before coming into Ausgold, I'd been working with SRK Consulting, and that's really where I first saw the Katanning Gold Project, and it sort of piqued my interest as, an interesting opportunity, and definitely an opportunity that has the scale that we're starting to realise today.
And can you tell us a little bit about, it's a big project, 3 million ounce in resources at this stage, are not fully drilled out, obviously. Tell us a little bit about the project and its history.
Yeah, look, it was first discovered in 1979, so the project has been around for a while. What's changed is some of the geological thinking we've put into it and understanding of both the region and the deposit itself. When we first looked at the project, it was about 400,000 ounces. It's now 3 million ounces, and I think that's still probably selling it short. The main gold trend is 17 kilometres long, which is an immense gold anomaly, and what we're focused on is what we call the central zone. That's 90% of that 3 million ounces straight away. The reason why we focus there is because we wanted to underpin the project with a robust resource, and now we're sort of expanding along that strike length and also across our 5,500 square kilometres of tenure that we've got effectively a whole greenstone belt for ourselves, which is very unusual for a company with a market cap of around $100 million. It's a really exciting opportunity.
Matthew, I'm looking at an aerial image of it there. You say it's been mined before. There are a number of mining leases, obviously a number of open pits and dumps. What's the regulatory position, the landowner position for Katanning?
Yeah, so we just completed a large capital raise. So we've just purchased 1,000 hectares of land adjacent to our mining leases. The mining leases themselves, as you said, they've already had mining conducted in the late 90s. So it's part of the regulation there is that, it's really now just a compensation agreement with the landholders there to move on to establish a new mining operation. And that's a process we're working through at the moment.
And there's a definitive feasibility study. I know you've done a preliminary feasibility study and it was updated late last year. The definitive feasibility study, when's that going to be due out?
Look, we've just brought on a bunch of new directors, two technical directors, Mark Turner and Adrian Goldstone, and also we've brought in, just lost my train of thought, John Dorwood there as the executive chair. So what we're doing, we're recalibrating the timetable on the DFS, but I expect to see it towards the back end of this year. The reason why I was raising the new board members is they're technical directors. Prior to that, I was the only technical director on the board. Now we've started to fill out that project delivery team. So Mark and Adrian have developed a number of projects through their career, so it's really good expertise to bring in. And we're going back and looking at a couple of the aspects of the DFS, looking at making the most of what the ore body delivers, which is high grades early on, to minimise our capital costs and really get on and make the most of this fantastic ore body.
And Matthew, it's granted mining leases, it's Western Australia, it's a relatively simple, although no mining is ever simple, relatively straightforward open pit mining operation. Any significant, you own most of the land, are there any issues that you need to bed down before you complete the DFS and make the final investment decision?
Well, a couple of things there. We're working on the project footprint at the moment, and there's a couple of things we're working on there. Making it, I guess, a more efficient site and compact site. It's quite a big mining operation that we're envisaging here. A 3 million ounce ore body's pretty big. We're looking at a mining rate that will support up to a 5 million tonne throughput mill, which is, again, a large operation. So those things in themselves are what we're trying to bed down, make sure that it really harmonises itself with the local community. We're 30 kilometres out of the township of Katanning, which is a population of about 4,000 people. So it's a wheat belt, agricultural community. So we're going to bring a new industry into town. They're very supportive, but it's always about communication and them understanding what this project will look like as we go through development.
Thanks very much, Michael. So Ausgold developing the Katanning Gold Project. The last iteration of the PFS looked at first 6 years of production of about 155,000 ounces of gold at about Aussie 15.49 an ounce. And of course, the gold price overnight was well above 2,400 and looking positive. Oh, sorry, that's US, so that's about 3,700. So it'd be a good margin there, anything close to that. Thanks very much for your time, Matthew.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheers.